Fredrick had a fork for a head. His sister Frieda had a spoon. As unusual as this seemed, it was quite normal for them. Their mother kept them in a drawer. Side by side they slept. Fredrick was forbidden to run by his father for having a sharp object for a head. And Frieda came in handy when her father did the lawn. Both children lived a happy life, sheltered from the outside world by a giant garden wall. Frieda and Fredrick's curiosity grew towards this giant barrier that blocked their outside view, until one night they ventured out, barefoot and busting full with delight. They tiptoed through their backyard, over their mother's flower bed and around their father's garden shed. Jumping over the compost heap, they finally reached their goal. Fredrick and Frieda were clever children and knew just what to do. Frieda turned herself upside down, and they tunneled their way through. Upon reaching the other side, Frieda did declare, "Oh my, isn't it sunny over here?" Fredrick sniffed and promptly replied, "And there's a hint of something yummy in the air. What a surprise!" They followed their nose over hills and through streets, not noticing as passers-by promptly shrieked. They came upon a building, circular in shape. A sign read, "Good food here to eat." Frieda and Fredrick's bellies rumbled as they followed their noses. Through the peculiar shop's doorway in search of food, the room they came upon was full of delights. Sweets and cakes decorated the walls. Roast chicken were used as seats. The tables were made from giant burger buns. Mayo oozed from their sides. And sat around the table scoffing food as it came was a prim and proper-looking man who we shall call James. Frieda and Fred stared on at wonder, but not as you would first think, at the food that was disappearing down James's neck, but instead at two glistening objects he held in each of his hands. It looked, oh could it be? Surely not. He held a fork and spoon. Frieda and Fredrick got a full view as James dipped first his spoon into a boiling hot mess of soup and croutons, and then steam rising. Oh, the horror of it all! He stabbed his fork and twisted with glee into some piping hot spaghetti. Fredrick fainted and Frieda gasped as cutlery was abused with torturous contempt, twisting, stabbing, dipping, cutting. They turned to flee, as now back home was where they preferred to be, but sadly it was too late. For the maitre d', you see, had thought them dirty. Having spotted a smudge on poor Fredrick's face, he ordered them taken away before they spoiled his lunch. This is where our story ends. Unless, of course, you are brave enough to receive the final gruesome course. For in the kitchen, where it was dark and dingy, hangs poor Fredrick and Frieda, who are at least now not so stinky. Upside down by their toes, above a chopping board is their new home. Amongst the cutlery they now stay, used regularly for morning, lunch and tea.